Hi, and welcome to Digital Art with me, Dominique Bennett. Today we'll be learning the fundamentals of art, and our topic today will be
Hi, and welcome back to Digital Art. As you can see, today we're going to be painting a butterfly, but before we get started in the actual painting, I wanted to read us a couple verses from Matthew 6. We're going to start off at 25 and head to the end of the verse, which would be 34. So it starts off with, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is life not more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to his life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you with you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of his own. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So, with that said and done, let us get started. So first, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to go into the window section on Photoshop, go to arrange, and then go to two up vertically. So both images, my canvas and the image will be visible. I am left-handed, so I usually like to have things on the left side. Sometimes if you move it too fast, it will go back to its original setup. So I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to use the zoom feature and just zoom out of the painting so I can see it clearer. So now that we can see that, just going to zoom out. Oops. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit more here so I can see the full painting. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to start drawing. I made a new layer, and usually we start off with the background layer. The background layer you don't want to draw in because that's what your background's going to be. So we're just going to follow what we see. I'm going to start off with boxes for the hand because as much as I love drawing, I'm still not good at drawing hands. So I use boxes as a guideline to help me. Now I'm doing almost like these tube shapes for the fingers. And I might just switch up the pose if I want to make something a little bit more dynamic and just give it a bit more originality. So I think I might switch the hand position, possibly. I'm using my lasso tool now, and to just move over things, I'm doing Control plus T, and now I'm just going to move over the fingers a little bit to suit my taste and to just change the image a little bit so that it can be a bit different. I'm just going to move the fingers over in a more open pose. So yeah. Now that I'm done with the rough sketch, I'm going to go to a new layer, go back to the previous layer, make the opacity lower so it's not as bright, and then really start to define the lines of the actual finger. Also, you can rotate by clicking R, so I'm going to start to rotate and make much cleaner lines. This pose might change back to the original depending on how it looks, because sometimes when you start drawing with color, you don't like the outlook, and then you actually want to switch it back to what you were originally trying to draw. In art, you can always change how it looks. It doesn't have to end up the same way that you specifically want it to. That's the beauty of it. You can change it whenever you want. And don't be afraid to use the erase tool, because this layer is supposed to really just define where you want everything to be. Thumb's looking a little bit wonky. Trial and error. So yeah, if you feel the need to keep going over it, keep going over it, because then you'll eventually reach what you're looking for. I'm going to remove the first layer to just see the second layer a bit more clearly, so I can get more of an indication where I actually want the thumb. Now that we've done that, we're going to just do an outline of the butterfly. And yeah. At first the drawing might look a little bit messy and uneven, but we're going to go in with color and eventually remove the lines so that the only thing that's visible is the actual painting that we've done. So once we've done the outline for the butterfly, you're just going to want to sketch the pattern, because these are going to be the guidelines for later on. You have to make sure that everything is exactly how you want it before you start. Gonna just use the lasso tool to fix the proportions. Then I'm gonna click shift and just squeeze it over. Going back to my eraser. Alright, now that we're done that, we're going to get rid of our rough layer and add a new layer, which is going to be our color layer. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pick a brush that is good for coloring in. I'm going to choose my drawing pencil, which I got from a custom drawing pack, and it gives a very, if you press very lightly, it gives a light effect, or it can give you a very dark effect. So this is the brush I'm going to be using throughout the entire drawing. So I don't want it to be orange, so I'm going to switch the colors by using the adjustments and go to color and balance, and I'm just going to see which one looks nicer to me. If make it more red or make it more blue. For the midtones, I think it should be there. And this is the part where you really just get to play with everything, and you get to see what you like and what you don't like. Actually, I think I'm going to use a different adjustment. I'm going to use the photo filter adjustment and see how it would look like with a blue filter. It makes it a little bit more dull, so I don't like that one either. We're gonna go with hue and saturation. So we have the saturation, we're gonna raise it a bit, and we're gonna, whoa, that's a bit bright, but we can tone it down, make it a darker blue, like this. And then we can go back into the adjustments, go to the brightness, and brighten the image once again. So I like the way that looks, so I'm going to use those colors on my painting by using the dropper tool and starting to do the art. Oh, I almost forgot. When doing the art, it's best that you're going with the color gray before you start painting so you can add the values. The values are the light and the darkness of the painting. So in this side of the painting, it's very towards the left side, it's more darker, so we're going to want to layer that side more than we're going to layer the right side. So right now I'm just doing a base color of the painting because I've decided that we're actually going to grayscale it, which means we're going to make this painting entirely gray, but the butterfly is going to be a beautiful blue so that it sticks out and that it's different. So right now, we're just adding in the color so we can start fixing it up and then start getting rid of the lines once we have a clear definition of where we want everything to be. We're going to make the brush size a little bit smaller and start to really go in and just outline the extra lines inside the hand, so we know where the shadow's coming from, and start to play around with the grays. As you can see, when you start to remove the lines, you see where we are and where we need to do some work. I'm just doing some light strokes here to get the color lightly applied on this side, and then we will switch between the switch between the brushes from the hard brush to a soft airbrush, so we get that darker gray incorporated, going in between the darkest gray and the medium gray, and just really brushing it out, make it look smooth. When you take off the lines, that's what it looks like so far. And now what we're gonna do is start to really define the shape. So we're using the lasso tool and just slowly breaking off pieces that are going outside the lines that we have created. So now that we're done with the lasso, I'm just gonna tap the canvas again, so that it deselects. And we're going to keep going with the distribution of the gray with the airbrush. The airbrush is really great for making things look soft and not as hard looking as not as hard looking as the hard brush makes it look. Going in with the darkest gray, going back to the hard brush, this time make it a lot bigger, so it can really start to define the shape of the thumb. As you can see, the lines are starting to not be needed because we're using our grain, and we're also using the color of gray to really define the shape without the lines. Now we're going to zoom in and do some more detailing here and make the shapes that we need. Switching brushes to the soft brush. You also have the Navigator on the side here, so it zooms in, but you can see how the drawing is coming along. You do have to kind of squint, because unless you want it to be bigger, you're going to have a really big square shape, but I like to keep mine here because I can see from this far, so yeah. Just going to add a little line here to show the muscle. Alright, and now we're going to continue refining the fingers. I'm just going to put some lighting over here so that we know where the thumb is and we can see the outline, though it is a little bit crooked. What you can do is we can lasso it and we can go and right click with our mouse, or sorry, not right click, we go to edit, we go to transformation, and we go to warp, and we can just push and pull the thumb so that it's more straight and more what we're looking for. Now it's just really to re-go in, refine the thumb again. The learning process. Oops. So the middle finger, and we're just gonna make it more wide because it's the longest finger. Oops, not bigger, just longer. And slightly stretch it like this. Oops, don't know what happened there. Like that, and we're just gonna pull it down. Going back in with my color picker. Now for the last finger, what we're just gonna do is go in and lasso it in the parts where it needs to be lassoed and delete. Butterfly. I'm just going in and fixing some little errors that I can see so far. Now rotating the painting back to its original spot. Now we're gonna re-add the lines so you can see where the butterfly is. Go to a different layer and start coloring in the butterfly with the colors that we have here. So first I'm gonna take this blue color, or no, first I'm gonna take the black and do the outline very neat and precisely, and then we're gonna color inside the lines and finish the butterfly. Oops, I forgot to take the mode off dissolve, so go back to normal. Now we're going to take white and we're going to go back into the painting, go with the hard brush, and we're going to make the little eye details. So these are the butterflies, little details to give him some character. and then do a shine detailing. Oops, a bit too harsh there. Now we're just going to lasso his face a little bit because he was a bit too big. His face was a bit too big on this side, and give him a rounded shape, but not too fat. Just going to make the entire face a little bit smaller. Now going back in with the white, and just give him a little eyeball, and there we go. Almost forgot, you have to add his antennas, so make sure you add his antennas. Then put it underneath and make it a little bit larger. Alright, sorry about that. We make it a little bit larger, and we turn it to either color or line art dodge, and then we move it in that place, make it a little bit larger like that, so it really sticks out. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back in here with our afro brush, and we're gonna go to multiply. I'm gonna go to this layer, and we're gonna go multiply, and we're just gonna have black as the color, and really just start to brush out. Oops, go to the layer above. Turn the opacity down because it's a bit too much. There we go. Now that we have this color, we can really decide what color or how dark we want the color to be. There's a whole lot of settings on Photoshop that you can play with. But for now, I think we're just going to keep it at, we're just going to keep it at normal. And I think I'm going to take the butterfly and just copy and paste him like that so that he's there when we need him. And I'm going to start playing around with the shadow and the light of the actual hand. So maybe make him dark like that, or maybe making the hand darker will make the butterfly stick out more. I think I like it like this, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, and then for the last part, we might just take away this part here because, it's not doing much. We might just get a splatter brush to make that almost star-like effect. So I'm just looking at my other brushes, and I have a freckle brush, which is really meant for the face, but if you use it over multiple times, it will almost make a pattern like the stars. So, yeah, I think that's a bit too much. I'm gonna just try a little bit bigger. Maybe not the freckle brush, maybe the air dust will be better. Yeah, we basically got the same result. And now we're just going to take this fuzzy brush, fill in the butterfly. Oops. Be a bit more precise with it. Fill in the butterfly and then make a very, very light turn off multiply and turn the opacity down and just make almost like a line coming from a butterfly, like he flew there, like in the image. Maybe we'll turn off the back and actually I think he looks better without the little dust thing. So yeah, and that is how you paint a butterfly. I hope you all enjoyed and thank you for watching.
Hope you enjoyed our show. I hope that you join us next time. This has been Digital Art with Dominique Butterfly. God bless you and have a great day.